Good evening, wrestling fans. I'm Louis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling, and welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. As always, the pleasure is all yours. Thank you, fans, for joining us tonight. We got an amazing show. Well, I have an amazing show that's going to happen tonight. We're going to be talking about so much things that have been happening in professional wrestling. We did take a week off just to regroup. We retired from the last show, but we are back at it again. Here and now, and it's time to talk some good old-fashioned wrestling. Hey, Russell Jackson, what's going on, brother? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we're going to talk about all of professional wrestling, plus the topic at hand that we're going to have regarding a certain individual that did pass away a couple of days ago, and we are going to talk about that individual as we get to the middle of the show. But so much things are happening in professional wrestling, like with the Bloodline, with Collision Course, AEW, TNA, like NXT, like so much things is going on, like so much news, things that are happening personal wise, like with Vince McMahon. Apparently, Vince McMahon his health is deteriorating. Apparently, who would have knew? Who would have thought that he was actually this sick? You know what I mean? Like maybe him selling WWE probably was the tip of the iceberg. Okay, like that's it. I'm done. But we don't know. But listen. Regardless of the fact of what Vince McMahon did, whatever the hell happened, he's pretty much he revolutionized professional wrestling. He changed professional wrestling in a way that no one ever saw coming. Like from the territories when it first started to the actual brand of, you know, actual closed circuit and then television, cable TV, and it's like, holy shit. Like Vince McMahon, you know, regardless of what all the bullshit that's been happening with him. What's going on, Christopher? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We are talking about wrestling's top news. As we mentioned, Vince McMahon apparently has been his health has been deteriorating. So, regardless of the fact of what he did, you know, I don't condone any shit that he's doing. But he made professional wrestling to be a national phenomenon because of the change going national, going closed circuit, WrestleMania, getting from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 40 is astonishing. You know, it's great. And it's like, holy shit, like what's next? And then, you know, he started going sideways after a while. You know what I mean? Like it happens. It happens to the best of us. But he definitely made an impact in professional wrestling. You know, but we wish him a speedy recovery. We hope that he is not deteriorating. But, you know, he said, Christopher Brown says, I heard conflicting reports on that. Depending on the source, if it's true, then things are going to happen quickly. Yeah, they are. So it sucks. It really sucks how that things come about. You know. I'm loving this new Judgment Day. It's funny in a way, but they're pretty destructive group. Like I saw that match with Damian Priest and JD McDonough. Like what report is the report is that Vince McMahon apparently is his health has been deteriorating. Dave, what's going on, man? Mr. Trivia. Vince McMahon, his health is apparently deteriorating, and he's sick, he's ill. But no one knows yet what's the status of that. But anyway, thank you for those joining in. Give me a second. I'm just sharing our content. If you feel free to share our content as well. But it's a great time to be a fan. Great time to be a fan. Like with so much stuff going on with TNA and AEW, and it's like you got so much stuff to see. So much stuff to see. Alright, here we go now. Alright, perfect. Alright, guys, Christopher says, did you hear what Balor wanted the new Judgment Day to be called? That was a shot down? No, I don't like the name. I don't like the name. Like, no, just no. Anyway, SummerSlam was a success. Like, I wasn't able to talk SummerSlam due to I wasn't here last week. But with the return of Roman Reigns, like, so much money was made when he came back. Like, holy shit. Like, the way the brand came, and the crowd went nuts during the match. And I'm like, what's going to happen next now that he's back? He said, I love the bloodline. I know, that's what I'm saying. Hello from Providence. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Carasquillo, what's going on? Thank you. The bloodline situation right now is, I tell you right now, is going to lead to War Games, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to watch War Games because it's just like I want to see Roman Reigns pick an amazing team to see which team he's gonna pick, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it, and the way they're using him right now, like, he is totally indestructible. Like, he can't be stopped. Roman has set up stories through Mania, and I'm not a fan, but it's all good stuff. No, absolutely. Thank you from Cape, New Jersey. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on tonight's show. We're bringing you wrestling's top news along with our topic of the night. A few days ago, a old school superstar passed away, Kevin Sullivan, formerly known in the Dungeon of Doom, the Taskmaster, and many other names. But tonight, we will be having a tribute show for Kevin Sullivan and talking about his best matches, his best performances, what he could have been if he would have still been here. Any news on Shane McMahon and AEW? Well, apparently there was a secret meeting with Shane McMahon and Tony Khan. Apparently there's still talks of Shane McMahon joining AEW, especially now with the situation with his father, with his health deteriorating. This might be his chance, because I'm sure his father didn't want anything to do with Tony Khan. So there's definitely still talks, but nothing in concrete stone yet. We will keep you updated. I read breaking news every single day to check the news, wrestling news, any rumors, any statuses. I will post it up as we go along. Christopher Brown says, my only regret about Roman Reigns' return is that it wasn't Heyman introducing him. Well, but that's the thing. See, they're getting to that, because he said, I'm calling Roman's team Zilla Fatu, Lance Anoa'i, and Juicy Fatu. That wouldn't be a bad team. That would not be a bad team to be in the War Games. But I want to see War Games, because I think this is what it's leading up to, with him saving Cody, him going after the bloodline by himself, but yet Jimmy is still out. Jay is back and forth, like, you know, kind of on the sideline real quick. But at this point, I think we're gonna see something, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Triple H is on fucking fire. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. I said the word because we're MA, mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Fucking it. But we are definitely, we're gonna continue looking into that when it comes to the bloodline, because something big is gonna happen. To me, since Triple H has taken over WWE, I personally have loved watching every single SmackDown. Sorry about the background. Every single SmackDown, every single Monday Night Raw, and it's like every match has been phenomenal. Even with, hold on, we got a question. It said, curious to see what The Rock does. That's interesting. because a lot of people want The Rock to continue the final boss angle with Cody Rhodes, but that also might bring the moment when Roman Reigns actually says, "No, I'm the tribal chief here. You're not the final boss. You're supposed to acknowledge me." And pretty much The Rock is going to turn on Roman. "Hi, honey, my beautiful and amazing wife, my producer and director." Albert says, "Oh wait, let's read Chris's first. Yeah, Roman saves Cody from another beatdown, and then the final boss makes an appearance, possibly." Alvin says, "I think it will be Roman, Sammy, and the Usos versus Solo, Jacob, and the God of War Games." Dave says, "Have seen Lance on the East Coast Indies, MCW Pro Wrestling. Dude is smooth in the ring." Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen his matches. And he pretty much, he can steal the show. Like, listen, the Anawani family are a great wrestling family. Like, there's no, like, absolutely, man. Say, well, was Kevin Sullivan part of the House of Humperdinck versus Piper's Palace? That's a good question. We're gonna get to that later. Trust me, we're gonna in the next couple of minutes we're gonna get into the Kevin Sullivan Tribute show. But that's a good question. We're gonna touch base on that. Remind me while we continue. But yes, listen, a lot of things been going on in AEW as well. Like AEW, their numbers have actually seen increase in Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, August 14th. Their numbers did increase. And that's a good thing because, you know, you went from massive bad demo rating to now the Young Bucks retaining the World Tag Team titles in controversial fashion. You know, you're keeping people in suspense. See, that's what I'm saying. With AEW, they're pretty much, they're wrestling. But now, you know, WWE is making wrestling too. But AEW it's not a bad company. Like you can't compare both companies. Like that's just not in the cards. You know what I mean? Like AEW has just started. WWE has been around for decades and decades. You know what I'm saying? So where do you think The Rock fits in this? To me, in my opinion, I feel like because The Rock keeps saying, "Oh, I'm the final boss," and the final boss said so. With him, I think it's him trying to pretty much take over the bloodline. I think at this point, when things happen, when Roman thinks he has him, that's when he returns and turns on Roman, and then that's when Roman forms. Remember when he came back? When I don't know if any of you guys heard it. When Michael Cole says the rebuilding of the Roman Empire, which means, are we seeing the big dog again, Roman Reigns, the Roman Empire, or are we still seeing the tribal chief? Dave says AEW is an alternative. It's not a bad thing to be. No, it's not. It's not bad because, believe it or not, guys, AEW puts some really good fucking matches. Like, I like to see some of their matches. And listen, by far, to me, the greatest match I've seen so far this year in AEW was the MJF and Will Ospreay match. Amazing match. Like an hour-long match that went, woof, like holy shit. Like I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? But it was good though. It was good, and we enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But apparently AEW also has it all in date and location revealed for 2025. Apparently AEW has officially announced that AEW All In 2025 will take place at the Global Life Field in Arlington, Texas, July 12th, 2025. Wow. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Okay, we got a question here. Alva says, in your opinion, where do you think the Lucha Bros should go? Raw or SmackDown? I would have to say SmackDown. And the reason why, because Raw is entertainment. It's pretty much, it's, you know, okay, let's beat the shit out of each other, let's go at it. You know, yes, some great wrestling matches, but they definitely would fit more in the wrestling caliber in SmackDown. Matthew says AEW should bring new talent. Perfect time to do it. Sent to Slaughter, Juan Vargas, Lou Bruno, El Oso Blanco should be so. You know, you're right. Fresh talent always rises up your pretty much your roster. Perfect example. Vince McMahon, again, man's health is gone, but still, he did a lot of shit for the business. He created a younger crowd in the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era, just everyone was built. But Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, Edge, Christian, The Rock, Stone, like all these young people, all the stars were built up. That's what AEW has to do. Build up on your stars. Get some new stars. No, listen, I'm all for Ricochet going to AEW. Like, let the man live. SmackDown, they will do better on SmackDown when they move to. Yeah, I agree. Because they're good. You know, they're definitely good. SmackDown is definitely a good show. And you put good talent on it, you're going to have yourself a good damn show. Same thing for Raw. You know what I mean? Like, I'm loving this angle with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. That shit is a masterpiece. Like, I'm loving it. And Dom, he's killing me with the way he is, but he's doing his thing though. You know, I don't knock him. You know what I'm saying? He's getting so much heat. I'm like, wow. Like, and it's funny. It's gold. Exactly, it's gold because it's the way he is as a heel. And the way they are together, like Liv, I'm loving Liv Morgan as a heel right now. Like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm just a little parched. Give me a second. Oh, man. Sorry about that. He said, who are you liking in NXT right now? Listen, there's a lot of people in NXT that's raising the bar right now. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's raising the bar right now. But I don't know. That's a tough thing to call. Right? I don't know. I would have to say this though. I'm glad they put Odyssey Jones in WWE in the main roster. You know, that was a big one up for them, you know. Christopher Brown says Dominic had to say during an interview that his wife understands what goes on every week on SmackDown, laughing out loud. Of course, she knows he's a professional. You know what I mean? He's a professional. He's doing his job. You know what I'm saying? And she knows that she can trust him. You know. The Dom story will get hotter when Raw moves to Netflix and the ratings are removed. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. He said, I really like there you go. See, I knew you had it in you. The Wesley turn. Thank you. Wesley turned on his comrades. Nobody saw it, but to me, I think now that I'm older that I appreciate the heel coming out of people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you see certain heels now, like, listen, not for nothing, Jacob Fatu, just to bring it up there, Jacob Fatu with the bloodline. Jacob Fatu is a beast. Like, I'm loving the way he is. I'm loving the attitude. I'm like, Tama Tonga, love his character. That shit makes me laugh though. You go, I'm like, what are you doing? Jacob Fatu is definitely awesome. But his brother, Tamatoa. Look, if I'm talking about Moana here. I totally forgot his name. I think it was Tongaloa, if I'm not mistaken. He needs to work more his wrestling ability. He's doing a lot of botches of what I'm seeing, which is normal, you know, which I understand. You know, oh yeah, for a big man, he could definitely deliver. He could definitely deliver, for sure. Tamaloa, there you go. David says, apparently Biggie tweeted that he's happy for Odyssey Jones helping out the New Day. I can see Woods turning those. Yes, absolutely. I want Woods to turn. I'm telling you. It's either that or Kofi's going to turn on him. One or the other. But it's about time one of them turn. For real. Dave says, let's see here. Dave says, FYI, I just saw Beth Phoenix's contract is over. I'm expecting her in AEW when Edge is healthy. Hey, pass on the knowledge to the younger generation. He said, I don't see her going there, Dave. I think I do. I will see her going there. You know what I mean? Like AEW, they have the talent. They have the people. They have the chance to turn an organization into a brand name. You know what I mean? And yes, they're known. You know, apparently they're going to sign with a major network. Let's hope it goes through. But a lot has been going on, man. A lot's been going on all over professional wrestling. Joe Hendrick has been used as a punchline in a very unexpected place. Apparently, he's a hit in TNA and NXT. I mean, NFL concerts, they're using his stuff. Let me see. Bound for Glory, originally TNA's original location for Bound for Glory has been unveiled for 2024. Bound for Glory is going to be, come on, open up for me. Give me a second. Technology, you gotta love it, right? The location, it says here, TNA has undergone significant changes since reconnecting with its roots through the Hard to Kill pay-per-view in January. As the company aims to grow, there were hopes that Bound for Glory might be held internationally. However, the event will take place in the United States. Despite this, TNA original plans for the event's location have been revealed, which will be, rumors have been circulating suggesting that Bound for Glory could be held in Europe or New York City. And this made fans wonder where the location will ultimately be. It is now confirmed that Bound for Glory pay-per-view will be held in Detroit, Michigan. Interesting. That's going to be interesting to see that Bound for Glory is going to be in Michigan. All right. So, wrestling fans, I want to bring you to a very interesting conversation that the Encyclopedia wants to wrap with you. A few days ago, this gentleman passed away. He was known all over professional wrestling as very villainous, sadistic. His demeanor in wrestling said it all. You know, the rivalries he had in professional wrestling. The manager, the wrestlers he's managed, the factions he's had. Kevin Sullivan passed away a few days ago. Unfortunately, I think it was at the age of 70. I believe 70. I'm not sure. It was somewhere in his 70s. We share our condolences to his family and send our prayers out to them. We do feel bad for them. But we are going to talk about Kevin Sullivan, the career of Kevin Sullivan, a tribute show for Kevin Sullivan today. We're going to talk about his days, the early career starting in 1970. Apparently the other Wild Samoan isn't doing well. I've heard about that. But for the respect of the people I have on Facebook that are family to him, we're not going to disclose that personally until they mention that. But I did see also he's not doing too well. And our prayers go out to him and his family, the whole Anwani family, and hope for him he does recover. But prayers. But yes, we pray for him. But yes, Kevin Sullivan, yes, respect to the Anwani family, yes. Kevin Sullivan started his career in 1970. He was an amateur wrestler in Boston, in the Boston area, not trained professionally. His first professional match was in Montreal, beating Fernand Fertici, which at that time, Kevin Sullivan wrestled under the name Johnny West in the National Wrestling Alliance Gulf Coast Championship Wrestling. Hey, Jeff Chadwick, welcome. Finally able to tune in. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Please feel free to share our content all over social media, guys. Bring everybody in. We're having an amazing discussion. We had just talked professional wrestling. We are now talking about the Kevin Sullivan Tribute Show. Dave says, in kayfabe territory era, especially in Florida, people really did believe he was a demon worshiper. That he was that good at his craft. Exactly. Because he knew how to sell it. He knew how to sell the character when he was. When he was a professional wrestler, he was also a booker, best known for his role as booking in WCW. But yes, he started his career in 1970. From 1970 to 1982, he was in NWA Golf Course Championship Wrestling. And then in 1982 to 1987, he wrestled in Championship Wrestling from Florida. And he went through many names. He went through, let me see. It says here, he actually wrestled as a mid-carder in he went north to join the Worldwide Wrestling Federation at the time. As a mid-carder face from 1974 to 1977, he had a rare appearance time. He faced and battled Pete Sanchez in Madison Square Garden. Sullivan was also wrestled as a face for promoter Roy Shire's Big Time Wrestling in San Francisco. This man's been all over Georgia, San Francisco, like everywhere. But there was a time. This was a famous time that. Hold on, let me get to the comments. The Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan. Yep. Hey, welcome, Jennifer, Jessica. Thank you. We appreciate it. Let me see here. My favorite Kevin Sullivan moments were when he faced his brother Dave in WC, because he used to kick the shit out of him. That's why. Let me see. I'm trying to remember other positions he held when he was in WWE, because I'm sure he had some sort of capacity back there. When it came to doing some of the booking, because I remember he did a promo with Karrion Kross, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, this was actually pretty good. I'm like, shit. But I'm wondering now, to me, what would happen if he would have been able to manage someone here in WWE? Like, just a random question, but I'm going to continue with his career. There was a point in his career, he was actually, let me see, he had a rivalry going with the Freebirds. It says here, in NWA Georgia, he was Sullivan, his partner was Austin Idol, challenged the Freebirds for the NWA Georgia Tag Team Championship in November 1980. During this feud was the angle where the Freebirds flattened all four Idol tires to prevent him and Sullivan from wrestling for the titles. And then Sullivan also worked in CWF. So this man's been all over the place. Like Dave says, his knowledge he put on tales from the territories, Palestinian Pacific was awesome as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, listen, I remember, oh man, with him and Damian Priest, holy shit. That actually would not be bad at all. Like, for him to, excuse me, for him to actually manage somebody like that, like, yo, like, I love, don't get me, it was it was corny, but I love the Dungeon of Doom. Like, it was cool. It was cool. It was, I liked it. You know, you had the Yeti, you had the Shark, you had the Zodiac and all that shit. But, you know, I like the rivalry he had with Macho Man. Like, that shit, like, just two maniacs going at it with each other. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what the hell are you going to do? How the hell are you going to be able to contain these two? You know, and then the steel cage and uncensored double cage when they fought. Like, the man had a lot of matches. You know, he was best known, I think, to me, was in WCW. He returned to WCW in 1994. First, he was in the Three Faces of Fear. And at the time, Brutus Beefcake turned heel. And, no, I don't know about Dirty Dom. No, I don't know about Dirty Dom. Depending, if you got a different image, maybe. But he's more or less sadistic type look. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he would be good with Dirty Dom. But when he was first in the Faces of Fear, he joins Brutus Beefcake at the time, which he was known as the Butcher, and Avalanche, who was known as John Tenta, which was a pretty decent faction, if I must say. You know, I liked the faction. It was cool. Like, I like all that stuff because, you know, I was a huge Hogan fan, even though now he's a fucking douchebag. For all the shit I've heard about him and everything, every wrestling he's lowballed. So he's completely lost my respect about that. Dave says, I last got to see him in the original Ring of Honor when he worked the program with Steve Corino and B.J. Whitmer. Wow, that's interesting. He worked with a lot of young talent. You know, definitely a lot of young talent he worked with, and it's cool that he was able to teach this young talent what to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that to this day some people cherish what he did for the business. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what best way to do it than giving back to the business? He says, no, are you kidding me? No. Oh, man. All right, apparently we just got some news. I'm gonna see if I can confirm this news. Apparently Alpha Anawani Sr. Has passed away, apparently. I'm going to see if I can confirm that right now. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Sugar. Let me see here. Okay, I am still checking this out here, fans. Give me a second. I'm checking this out right now. Eric Sims posted it. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to let me see here. Alright, yes. Apparently he has passed away, yes. People posting things up. Oh, man. Yes, it is. Well, someone just commented, I heard he's still alive as well. I don't know. Jesus. Okay, see, this is why we need to... Okay, hold on just a second. apparently there's a mixture. I have some of the family on Facebook. Apparently it says his daughter said that is not true, that he is still alive. So apparently that he's not doing well, but apparently has not passed away yet. So we don't know yet. We're still waiting for confirmation, but as of now, we are hearing he is ill. He is ill, so we'll keep it at that. Let's not make any accusations, any stuff pertaining. They're not stating yet if he has passed or not, but again, we keep him in prayers. Thank you, Travis Cook. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. For those tuning in, we are talking about the life and career of Kevin Sullivan, who recently just passed away a couple of days ago. And you know, he's done so much for the business. You know, I see him when he came back in 1997. You know, he had feuds with Chris Benoit. He had feuds with Brian Pillman, with Jacqueline, and then he later had issues with Ed Ferrara and Vince Russo because Vince Russo is a prick. You know, like I actually requested him to come on the show. He never answered. You know, I commented on certain stuff on X and Twitter. He's never responded. So what you afraid of, buddy boy? You said you created the Attitude Era. You see what you did with, you know, what you did in wrestling. Bring your ass on the show. Let's talk some wrestling. So he did a lot of independent promotions too, from 2002 to 2021. He did Ring of Honor back in 2016, but he underwent a lot of surgeries and multiple complications from an accident reported that affected his ability to function independently. So he was pretty ill, you know. But to me, my fondest moment of him was, I think, when he was with the Varsity Club. You know, him, Mike Rotunda, and Rick Steiner. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what was your fondest moment of Kevin Sullivan's career? And what was your finest match that you've seen, you know, of Kevin Sullivan? Like, what matches did you like? Because I want to hear. I want to hear what matches you guys enjoyed when he was wrestling. Whew. Pretty hot in here, guys. And while you're waiting to answer that question, please feel free to share our content all over social media. Bring everybody in. Let's have this cool conversation before it goes away. It's an interesting conversation. So tell me, what, in your opinion, was Kevin Sullivan's best match that you've seen? In your opinion. And I'm thinking myself, because it's hard to say, man. Say, oh man, never really heard of him this sometime this past year. Oh, search him up, bro. He definitely was a known man in professional wrestling. Dave says CWF with Bob Rope and Mark Lewin versus Dusty Rhodes, and later the Midnight Rider. Wow, that's interesting. Christopher Brown says a large part of his career was before my time. I'm afraid for me it's more about what if he had wrestled a little longer. That's true. That's definitely true. You know, Kevin Sullivan was definitely ahead of a lot of people's time, you know, but he had a great match with Lex Luger, a lumberjack match in 1987. he definitely was able to. I forgot which event this was. Let me see which matchup this was. This was in Action Championship Wrestling from Florida. He had a lumberjack match with Lex Luger. I said mine was feud with him and Benoit. Yes, Chris Benoit was. They did have a massive feud. Those two, like, definitely had a crazy feud. He said, I will heard seen some stuff for more his booking and backstage stuff. Yeah, go on YouTube. Search him on YouTube or Google. You'll definitely find him there. But yes, with Kevin Sullivan, to me, again, if he would have been here, I think with that promo he did with Karrion Kross, I think they should have put him more in that. Because I really like that spot he did. So, but again, our sincere condolences to Kevin Sullivan's family, Kevin Sullivan. Christopher Waller, the legend, I hope he gets his flowers. And I'm sorry, brother. I'm not even going to touch that subject. I guarantee you, as of now, he is not going into the Hall of Fame. And many people why, but I'm not going to mention. You know, everybody knows what he did. You know, people are still speculating it was something else. But we're not going to touch that topic here. We're talking professional wrestling. He was great in the ring. Great in the ring. But we know why he's not going to get into the Hall of Fame. It's just not going to happen. Sorry. But with that being said, we're definitely looking forward to seeing what professional wrestling is going to bring to the table. Yeah, no, got to get it out of your mind. But we're excited to see where professional wrestling is gonna start bringing now, coming into 2025, which is shit. It's going right around the corner. We're already in August, about to be in September. But I'm going to give you guys 3 questions before I go, and it can be anything. Like, we could discuss it for 5 minutes. Like, in your opinion, what would you like to ask? And I'll answer it in any way I can, and we can discuss it for 5 minutes each question. Okay, guys can lay it in the comments. Let me know what questions you got regarding professional wrestling. It can be the past, present, future, whatever. Just shoot and let us know what you guys have been thinking about in professional wrestling and why. Let me know. Please let me know. Get your comments out there. Get your comments. I definitely want to see what you guys are thinking. And I want to know what you guys have been craving for professional wrestling, and what new storylines, what new matches you want to see. Like, let's talk. We got a few minutes. Just lay it out there. Clive, what's going on, man? Thank you. You've been late. We're about to be done, but we got 10 minutes. You guys can ask any questions you want, what you want to talk about before we end the show. All right, here's the first question. Here's a question for you, Lewis. Do we see Joe Hendry do a main roster feud as a single star or in a tag team before the end of 2024, either with or LA Knight or Logan Paul? Okay, and we got one more question. What do you think of the Bloodline feud, and do you see The Rock siding with Solo? Okay, we're gonna get to those 2 questions right now. As far as Joe Hendrick is concerned, I think, in my opinion, don't put him in a tag team. I would put him against LA Knight for sure, because those two. That would be the promo of the century right there with those two. With his fame and LA Knight's fame, it would be awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. Putting those two together. Logan Paul, yeah, he got some mic skills. I give it to him. But I think it would be more with that, with him being solo, just by himself. What do I think about the Bloodline feud? I think it's going great, especially now that Roman has returned. I definitely want to see. Excuse me. Wow. I definitely want to see where this is going to go, because I see bigger things happening, and even Triple H said it to himself. Before the movement happens to Netflix, something big is gonna happen, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to do it. No, I'm just excited. I couldn't breathe, so I coughed. But I hope you feel better. And we got a MJF versus Randy RKO. I want to see that match. I will definitely see that match. All right, here's a question. Hey, Lewis, what do you think on the LA Knight recent title reign? I like it. You know, and especially now that they try to feud him with Santos Escobar, which is I want to see. You know what I mean? And I'm anxious to see where this title reign is gonna go, because for real, you got to make this title relevant again, man. The United States title has been held by so many legends, from Steve Austin to Ricky Steamboat to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race. Like, come on, my man. Bring that title into existence and defend it like you should, man. Damn. Anthony says, wouldn't mind seeing this awesome dream match. LA Knight, yeah, versus The Rock. Imagine that go. No, I'll pay to see that match. I would definitely pay to see that match. What do you think of the face turns by Priest and Rhea Ripley? I like it. I like it. And I told you guys, they're going to make her the top face in the women's division. I'm telling you. And especially now with Damian Priest's run, the way he's going and his attitude, shit. This is just the start of his career, of how it's going to go. Yeah, John Cena made it 2015 when he held it and then did it to the through the United States Open Challenge. Dave says, I may be going to Combat Zone Wrestling. ZZW Cage of Death is September. What say the page's opinion on death matches? Well, you know what? Death matches. Death matches originally come from Japan, and at the time, I loved them. I loved them. You know, yeah. Okay, let me say this. I'm trying to say this as nice as possible, because unfortunately, in this era, people are too damn sensitive. Because you put on a death match on TV, oh my God, there's too much blood. Like, come on, people. It's professional wrestling, so what? I like a death match, a good death match. You know, if done right, definitely can put on a good match, if done right. He says, I feel Randy will beat Gunther and Randy will be 15-time champion. I don't know. They just put the title on Gunther. I don't want Gunther to lose that title yet. I'm glad that he was able to win that championship, and I was surprised they made him world champion so soon. But I'm like, hey, I ain't mad at him. He said, yeah, death matches in this era definitely gonna be canceled by the WWE haters. Well, I don't know about WWE haters, just in general. Excuse me, like people in general, like. And he said, yeah, Moxley bleeds like a fucking sponge every week. Fans who bitch about it needs to grow some backbones, laughing my ass off. No, listen. I understand. I get it. You want to show some blood, whatever. I just think you're going a little too overboard, but I understand in a sense why. Because I'm sure once WWE goes to Netflix, there's no more censoring. Like, all you're going to hear is fuck this and fuck that and curse words and all that stuff. You know, guaranteed when it comes to that. And you're going to hear the crowd. You know, so it's definitely going to get edgier in WWE. Which I'm definitely excited to see next year when it goes to Netflix. I got Netflix and I'm ready. So I'm dying to watch it. So, but he said, yep. He said, yeah, Raw on Netflix being TV 14 again. Yep, and I'm ready for it. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to see that joint. So, but wrestling fans, my time is up here. We appreciate all the questions at the end of the show. That's a new thing we got now. He said we need to We need SmackDown BT. Well, they're going to Raw. They're going back to USA. So that means they're probably going to get edgier. They're definitely going to get edgier. So I'm anxious to see where that's going to be. What you call it? And we're hoping for more edgier content, but definitely continue with the wrestling, because I love the wrestling on SmackDown. So, but thank you, fans, for joining us. We definitely that's our new thing now. That's a new thing I'm gonna be having at the end of the show when we got some time. We're gonna answer questions from the fans, any questions pertaining to any wrestling, and I will give my opinion to wrestling. And next week, wrestling fans, we are back again, and then after that, we're probably gonna take 2 weeks off. But next week, we're gonna come back at you. I'm gonna come back at you. The Encyclopedia Pro Wrestling is gonna be sitting here live, only talking wrestling. So the only WWE programming that still will be somewhat PG is NXT, because it will be on CW going forward. It's fine. It's fine. It'll keep some leverage to keep it decent for the WWE, so they don't cry, oh, let's cancel them. But next week, we are going to be coming to you live again at 8 o'clock. We're going to be discussing all of professional wrestling's news, and our topic of the night next week, which one of our colleagues in our creative team has brought to my attention. What made you a wrestling fan? What made you get into wrestling? Let's talk about all the greatest moments we've ever seen in professional wrestling as a fan. To this day, we can still talk about, whether it was in WrestleMania, whether it was in WrestleMania when Hulk Hogan came back in WrestleMania 21, or in SummerSlam when the Ultimate Warrior pinned Honky Tonk Man in 11 seconds, or if you see John Cena returning in Royal Rumble with his number 30, whatever it is, we are going to talk about it, and you guys can let us know what was your fondest memory, what match you liked, etc., etc., etc. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, formerly known as X, and TikTok. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please show us our support, subscribe, share it out, our content out there all over social media. For myself, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling, and for my lovely wife and producer, Yesenia, thank you for joining us. He says, I'm definitely going to be there for that next week. I got a lot of them. Oh, bring them on, brother. We're going to discuss it. A full long hour. We're going the full hour on that day, because we're going to have so much stuff to discuss. Thank you, wrestling fans, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. And again, as always, the pleasure is all yours. Thank you.